Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. It's kind of weird playing this game. When you look at the screen and hear this music, it's like, well, here are these guys just hanging out in the town of Echo. Or going to a reunion in the town of Echo and just chilling, having a good time. You know? Like, he doesn't seem grumpy. We're this close. Jenna's looking at us for some reason. Carlos is enjoying the view, and TJ's just like, I'm being a cat and being all lazy. And then you get to the actual game. And we're in the nightmare world. Don't listen to the music. We're in a bit of trouble here. So, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making others, you can go to their Patreon, $3 a month. And I do want to note, I actually did 10 minutes of this before I looked to my right, and noticed that my volume was pretty low. That's because I had my VR headset connected, and for some reason my computer likes to use that mic and stuff like that, instead of this one right here in front of me. So I was like, hell. But anyways, on the last Let's Play, me and Carl were in this, small pocket universe, maybe? I don't know, whatever it is. And quickly heard a distressed raven, the husky. So we ran off to that area where he was dying from smoke inhalation because he was in a room with a fire and maybe a monster in there. So eventually, Carl did the smart thing and rammed the door down, or rammed a hole in the door, which as soon as he made a hole in it, smoke's gone, Raven's, happy and alive, no monster. So, in this universe, on the left side, there's 4 hallways connecting in a square, and on the left side is a kitchen with only one entrance. All entrances lead to the same kitchen, apparently. And then on the right side are 3 doors in each hallway, which go to different things, except for one which was just a wall. It was a fake door, a real fake door. But then there was one that had the sickly smell of, sickly sweet smell of corpses, and also when we opened it, didn't have any corpses in it, but did have a noose. And right now we're in the kitchen looking for food because Raven's hungry. Hopefully everything will be fine. I think we're at the time in this game where stuff goes crazy. Well, I mean, we're in the pocket universe, so... Oh yeah, there's also the attic ladder that we haven't decided to go up yet, I guess. Reset face. And begin. We head back to the kitchen, which doesn't take very long because every door on the left leads to it. We all split up to search for the many cupboards and drawers of the kitchen for food. We come mostly empty, only finding silver and cooking utensils here and there. Because of my injury, I cover a lot less ground, only able to hobble around along the counter, using it as a crutch as I move down the line of cupboards. Even if we were able to find any food, there's no way I'd be able to cook it. The only thing I'd ever been able to make on my own was a grilled cheese sandwich, back when I was in high school. Come on, you gotta learn some cooking. Even then, I almost burned out of the house when I dropped a piece of bread on the gas stove. In a panic, I threw the flaming bread across the kitchen into the living room. I smile at the memory as I open the last cupboard along the wall, and right in front of me is a block of cheese on a glass plate. Next to it is a loaf of bread in plastic bagging, and a small square of butter wrapped in wax paper. I stare for a moment, waiting for the food in front of me to disappear. I even blink a few times to be sure. Guys? What's up? You seen this? What? Cheese, bread, and butter. I stand on the side, and Raven perks up. Ooh, you found food. I swear, I already checked that cupboard. Raven is next to me in a few seconds later, reaching in to take out the food. For a moment, I swear the bread blurs as he pulls it out, and I have to shut my eyes for a moment to keep from feeling sick. I feel Carl support. Sorry, really, gods, it's 10 o'clock at night, or past it. Support me from behind with his hands on my shoulders. Whoa, dude, you alright, Chase? I grab him on the counter again. Yeah, it's just... Carl waits for a moment. What? I was thinking about grilled cheese before I opened the cupboard. Like, you wanted a grilled cheese sandwich really badly and it popped up? Sort of. Huh. Carl walks up to the bread and bends over, observing it closely. It looks real. It's real. Raven walks up to the cupboard where he had pulled the food from and closes it. Alright, I'm wishing for a steak. He closes his eyes for a moment, then reaches out to pull the cupboard back open, smiling expectantly. It's empty. Well, grilled cheese isn't bad. Raven moves down the counter to grab one of the pans hanging from the rack. Carl moves over to my side as Raven turns the gas on the gas stove with a click, click, click of the igniter. Dude, I think one of the important things to do right now is stop questioning this place. We just can't make sense of it. I fold my arms. It has to be a dream. Carl puts an arm around me. Maybe, but dude, I'm just glad I'm not here alone. I nod in agreement. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to deal with that. Let's just take this one step at a time for now, man. I manage a small smile. Are you high right now? Carl laughs. Man, I wish. I hear a sizzling of the melting butter as Raven plops it in the pan. Carl and I go about setting slices of cheese in the bread as Raven starts searing them. The action of making food is enough to calm me down, at least, a little. And the other two, keeping high spirits, lift mine. Before long, there are 6 grilled cheese sandwiches stacked on the plate. They look good, but after the first bite, I almost let the food fall back out of my mouth. What the fuck? I look over to see Carl and Raven pulling similar faces. This kinda tastes like chalk. You know what chalk tastes like? Yeah, I ate some when I was a kid. He has a point. It's dry and crumbly, almost inedible. Well, it still sort of tastes like grilled cheese. Sort of. Like, I wonder how that would work. Did it not smell like grilled cheese or feel like it or what? Does it just have the weird taste of chalk? And also going back to a story that I already said just now, but you know, this thing kind of reminds me of when I accidentally bought, or maybe somebody accidentally bought, like low-fat Parmesan cheese. It tasted like cheese sawdust. I don't think this is food. It's not that bad. Besides, it's all we've got. Raven forces another bite, and so does Carl. I can't bring myself to do it. My ankle, the smoke, the dead body smell, and noose. It's all too much to deal with right now. I watch Carl and Raven talk back and forth, and I'm again stuck by how surreal this feels. I think back to the time I first got stoned from a stupid pot muffin. Now, how nothing felt real, how I felt like I was in control. It's like only 10 times worse. Or, yeah. I wonder if the others feel the same. Something ebbs to the surface of my mind, trying to break through the veil of fog shrouding my mind. What are we doing? Why are we sitting here eating when we should be trying to figure out how to get the fuck out? I open my mouth. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I struggle to keep my food down, instead choose to look hard at the tablecloth. You're not hungry? Raven is looking intently at my half-finished sandwich. Nah, you can have it. I slam a glass plate across the table to Raven. I've never seen a glass plate before, unless it's plastic. Carl watches me, but doesn't say anything, slowly chewing. I subconsciously note that he'd eaten around the crust, leaving those on the table. We start discussing what else we might be able to do here, other possibilities of how we could get out. There's still the attic thing. The attic is really the only place we haven't been yet, but because it's so dark, we're not sure about going. Well, why don't we sleep on it and figure out what we'll do when we wake up. Raven yawns widely. That sounds good to me. Feels like it's been hours. It does feel that way, but without our phones, it's really impossible to tell. Well, we do have our phones, but none of them work. Leaving our plates where they are on the table, Raven leads us back into the hallway. It takes us a few minutes to find the right door, considering everything looks identical, though we take special care to avoid the damaged door. The one that leads to the, corpse but not corpse room. As Raven moves into the bedroom, Carl leans against the wall, turning his head to talk back to me. Hey, we're gonna be alright, okay? I look back at the one green eye I can see, and will myself to squash the boiling pit of dread in my stomach. Okay, it's just that I can't believe this is happening, you know? I gotcha. I just want you to know I'll be here for you, okay? Man, Carl was unusually calm. But that's good. Maybe. I look back at his gaze for a while, to the point where I think he's getting uncomfortable. I sigh. You guys are just acting really weird about all this. Yeah? Well, I guess Raven's is being Raven, but you're acting different. Really? How? I swallow. Just yesterday, you were throwing up at a job interview. Now you're the level-headed one while I'm freaking out. I laugh a little. I just don't understand what's going on, is all. Carl sits me down against the wall and turns to me with a hug. Hey man, I don't know either. I'm just trying to keep it together too. I guess it's kind of like that weird thing where it's like certain types of pressure some people can handle. Like there's moderate, like stressful situations, like going in an interview when you don't really know that much and you're a nervous person like I am. And then it's like, oh, when you go stuck in this world dimension, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna kind of chill for a hot minute and, assess the situation. That's him right now. The hug surprised me, but I take it gratefully. I stare over his shoulder at the uniform hallway. Despite Carl's efforts, the worrying feeling returns. Raven pokes his head around the doorway. Hey guys, that little sofa thing is awesome. I'll sleep there. You two can have the bed. Oh, I don't like this. Because there's a knife involved as well. And of course, I dream. I'm running through endless hallways. All kinds of hallways, including one that looks like a space station and another that looks like a medieval castle. In each one, I run into locked doors. Because of this, I can only move through the halls, never knowing what's behind those doors. Eventually I wake up, but my dead limbs and heavy head tell me I'm not awake, not fully. I brace myself and shut my eyes again. My heart thumps and stomach churns, with the disappointment of knowing that I'm still in that fucking bedroom. The one thing that tells me I'm still stuck in a nightmare that's beyond the one I'm currently in. It's weird to think of sleep paralysis being a real thing. I sometimes have the opposite of it, where I punch myself in the face and I kind of wake up. I don't know why, just all of a sudden my arm's like, bleh! Thanks, arm. I'm gonna work you out extra hard at the gym. I feel things move about the room, hear things that sound like whining, crying, and screaming. Then I hear something in the ceiling move above me. It has many legs, like a spider, that weighs hundreds of pounds. And then I'm free. That doesn't look like a big bed. I hold still as the gradual release of the paralysis seeps through my muscles and joints. At this point, reading yawned. Again, it's now past 11 o'clock at night, and it's been a day. I feel like I've mostly learned how to cope with the nightmares. That thought would make me happy if it wasn't so crushed that I'm still here in this actual nightmare. Okay, but here's the thing. What's this? That looks like a window. There aren't windows, but that's a window. Like, I'm not sure if this is a picture and then it's like mosaic or something like on it or something, but I feel like you could have edited that out. Just saying. The thought of making happy wasn't crushed by so the next nightmare. Sorry, reading on. I mean, I want to play this game, which is why I'm playing it now, but it's still like, I'm sleepy. Immediately, anxiety raises back up in my chest as I realize how fucked up this actually is. How much sense this doesn't actually make. As far as I can tell, we've been drugged, somehow, and moved to this underground hellhole as an experiment of some kind. Someone in Echo had to have done this. One of the crazy old people. Maybe Duke? He probably built this underground maze just to watch us lose our minds, probably getting off to it at the same time. He's a crack addict. I don't know where he'd get all the disposable income. I mean, maybe he could learn how to build a lot of this stuff, but still. He's poor, like pretty poor. I grip the bed sheets and grit my teeth, grimacing at the ceiling as I try not to cry. That had to be it. This isn't some kind of supernatural alternative dimension. This is real, and someone's fucking with us. We're probably being watched by cameras that are set up in the corners and peepholes right now. The idea sends a shiver down my spine, and I glance to my left, scan the wall for any inconsistencies. We need to get out of here as soon as we can, and the sooner we start moving, the better. I hear a small whining grunt to my left. At that moment, I look over, only to find Carl isn't in the bed next to me. I stare for a moment at the tangled mess of sheets on his side of the bed, trailing off the side. Carl? Another grunt. Then I hear Carl. At least, I think it's Carl. His voice is deep, raspy, and it sounds like he's trying on some sort of weird accent they've never heard him use. My name's Soiled. Slowly, I sit up, and that's when I see something white sitting next to the bed. Jesus. I jump and slide back on my ass, away from it, almost falling off to the side of the bed. Staring at it for a few seconds longer allows me to make out the clear shape of horns under a bedsheet. Carl is sitting next to the bed with a white sheet over his head, swaying back and forth gently. What the fuck, Carl? I shout whisper to him, my earlier exclamation sounding way too loud in this quiet room. Is he possessed? Because I think that'd be referring to James Hendricks I. I look over at Raven, but somehow he's still curled up on the sofa, fast asleep. I turn my attention to Carl. I jump again as I see that he's staring straight at me, or would be staring at me if there wasn't a sheet in the way. Carl, what are you doing? This isn't fucking funny at all. I push myself off the bed, leaning against it to take the weight of my swollen ankle, now twice its original size, as I stand in front of Carl. I reach out to take the sheet off the head, but I hesitate. The horns, they look bigger than they should be. And the voice is so different. Dining. Love. Carl? Carl, you're scaring the shit out of me. My voice is weak, and it crackles at the end as I lose my nerve. Had this place been getting to Carl more than he'd been letting on? But then maybe he was sleepwalking. I remember him doing that when he slept over at my house years ago. I reach out again, more slowly this time, but again I hesitate. I can't shake the feeling that if I pull it off, it won't be Carl. Suddenly, the horn head shakes back and forth violently, the grunting reaching a fever pitch. Shocked, I fall back on my rear, yelping as my ankles jolted. I lean back on my hands, watching with wide eyes. The shaking is so wild, the sheet starts to slip off the head, as if whatever's under the sheet is trying to shake it off. I brace myself, watching as the sheet slides slowly from the horns to reveal Carl. Of course it's Carl. He stares back at me with bleary eyes, like he'd just woken up. I swallow hard. Carl? Carl, what are you doing? He's silent for a moment, then finally speaks. I know what to do. We're supposed to be looking? Anywhere, but I know it's here. I lean uselessly against the dining room table, again, watching them. I'm biting my lip, trying not to lose control, trying to absorb everything Carl had just told me. You said James Hendricks himself came to you in your dream, right? Carl huffs, but doesn't look at me. Yep. And he told you that you had to find something? Carl gets down on his hands and knees and looks under the stove. I know it sounds stupid, but that's what happened. I wonder if this will have any sort of imports to, like, the smoke room? I don't know. I frown. You know, I dream about a giant spider crawling through the ceiling, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be searching around for a spider in the ceiling. No, this is different. I've never had a dream like that before. He stands back up and looks right at me. It felt like he was actually my brain, telling me. I look back at him for a while, not wanting to tell him he's going crazy, just like I am. Well, it's kind of vague to just tell you that you need to find something, isn't it? He told me other stuff. Carl moves closer to me, starting to look through the various decorum of the dining room. Like what? Carl lifts up a vase, then looks inside. Said this place is chaos, a leftover memory from the old house. That still doesn't make any sense. And that he organized it for us to separate sections, to help us figure this out and clear his name, so we can get out of here. How was clearing James Hendricks' name gonna end this? I throw my hands in the air to gesture at everything that this is. Carl bends down to look under the dining room table, then stands up right in front of me. What else do we have to go off on? Hey, I found something weird. We both look over at Raven, who holds up a corkscrew. Carl turns back to me, ignoring the husky. I don't know. If we find it, that locked door will open, and we'll be able to get out. Oh yeah, I guess the last door was locked. Was it? If he's here, why doesn't he just show up himself and do it for us? He said he's weak, that there are other forces in this house that have more control than he does. He can only do so much. I gape at him. Gape? I mean, my guy gapes sometimes, ooh. Do you hear yourself right now? Carl frowns, then moves past me. What does his name even need to be cleared of? I feel tears starting to string down my eyes again, because now I think I'm the only one here who realizes how crazy all this is. don't you guys get what's actually going on here? Raven stops rustling through the drawers and looks up at me. You okay, Chase? No, because someone fucking kidnapped us and put us in this crazy maze dungeon, and we should be trying to figure out how we can get out. It's quiet for a moment as Raven and Carl exchange glances. It's okay, Chase. We're gonna get out of here. Hopefully all of us. I lay my head back in despair, about to cover up my face with my hands when something catches my eye. In the chandelier, a small, white envelope is wedged between the glass ornaments. I squint to make sure it's not my watering eyes casting an illusion. Yes, there's definitely an envelope up there. Diamond patterns from the crystal cast across its surface. Guys? Carl ignores me as he continues to shuffle through things on the counter behind us. Carl, I found something. I point straight up at the chandelier above me. Carl stops, then, finally, and moves next to me, looking up. Is that a letter? Looks like it. Do you think... is that what you're looking for? Carl gets up on the table, wobbling slightly, as he reaches up to pull the envelope from the crystals. With a heavy thump, he drops back on the floor. I'm still skeptical of everything right now, but as I get a closer look at the letter, I think I start to recognize it. That kind of looked like the same envelopes your mom collected. Carl picks up the envelope, turning it over. Kind of. It says John on the front. Carl opens the flap to empty out the contents. Isn't that the guy that... Whoa! The letter lights up, and what sounds like a match being struck accompanies a flash. Carl gasps and drops the letter, shaking his hands. It's on fire! Shit, put it out! I stupidly wonder if the lights had somehow set the letter on fire, as Carl starts trying to smother the letter with the sleeve. At that moment, a great moaning sound shakes the walls, almost knocking me off my feet and sending plates crashing to the floor. I cling to the table as plates fall to the counter and the chandelier swings above us. The deep groaning coalesces into a scream that makes me clap my hands over my ears. Carl's staring at the ceiling, his eyes wide, when we hear another hissing sound. I jerk my head back in time to see a gush of inky black smoke burst from the stove, another scream accompanying it. It rushes straight towards us, and for just a moment, I see an outline of what looks like a mouth and eyes in the smoke before it engulfs me. My senses are completely smothered. It feels like something is slamming up against my chest, and all the air is gone to be replaced by the unbreathable smoke. Unbreakable, it consistently is like water, filling up my ears and eyes. I scream into the emptiness, but I can't hear myself over the cacophony of sounds like rushing water, mixed with muffled screams and explosions. I fall to my knees, then curl up on the ground into a ball, just praying that the savage thing killing me would stop. Just as I'm starting to give in, something grabs the scruff of my neck hard and yanks me up so violently my teeth clack together. The fingers are unmistakably hooved. The letter, you fucking idiot. Then, I'm shoved forward to find myself lying flat against the dining room table. Completely blind, I feel around before finding the letter. I clumsily rip the envelope apart, grabbing the letter inside. Then, like a massive vacuum being turned on, the smoke is sucked out of the room, along with a horrible screaming roaring. Well, I shouldn't have done this episode because now I'm just like, I want to continue. But I should be responsible and go to bed at the same time as usual. And that is kind of a scene change-ish. Oof. That does have my adrenaline going just a wee bit, where it's like, hey, everything's fine. Stuff bursts into flames, and all of a sudden, something happened. Whew. So that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. So please comment, guys. I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like me YouTube and like Secret Room, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the room. Please remember to ban your animals and control the pit population. And until next time, me, GamerWolfSix, of the Smoke Room. Echo. Did I say the Smoke Room before? It's Echo. Ban your animals, but also if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. And since it's completed, you can still support the people at Patreon with $3 a month to get early access to other games. And until next time, me, GamerWolfSix Echo. I might check out the thing, see how much farther we have left. So thanks and see ya. Not too much, just be like, okay, what's the last thing we knew? Okay, thanks, see ya.